So I have to ask, tell us about your appearance in the Back to the Future movie.
Ah, I'm no longer actually embarrassed by this because I have to deal with this a lot. And teaching was the worst because you know, kids would bring up the fact that I did some acting quite a bit and raise their hand and in class and you know, say certain lines from the back. But yeah, I did some child acting. I grew up in LA
Okay.
or that area, and so. I joke that you have to do certain years of service in the industry, but my sisters and I were did that,
Okay.
and it was kind of fun. You know, I did some work, and I get to turn on Back to the Future 2 and show my kids that I was on there. It kind of weirds them out a little bit, but yeah, I'm glad I did it.
So
But
that
it was not
that can be
something
the
I
game.
wanted to go back to at all.
That could be the game for our audience. Go back to the Future 2 and see if you can figure out who John was playing back then.
Yeah, I and everybody points to the fact that Elijah Wood was the other kid. So
Wow,
the
okay.
sidekick. He's gone on to do some better things.
Do you? I mean, speaking of that, do you think that experience had anything to do with or prepared you for the work that you do now, or for being a business owner?
No, at least
Not
I don't believe. No, not really. No, there's been other experiences. I've done a lot of coaching.
Okay.
And certainly teaching. Really, it's been doing this work and then surrounding myself with a great team.
Okay.
So talking folks who I believe in to really take that leap of faith and getting them excited to do something new and a new model. Maybe coaching was maybe the bigger thing that helped me prepare me for what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can really prepare you for that.
What is it about coaching and teaching that that really gets you going? I mean, what aspect of that do you find?
Well, I do love conveying and connecting, and so I get to do that still, and I do get a little bit excitable about doing this work, and so that's part of, I guess, being a coach is that you get your team excited about stepping up and doing their best, and so there's a connection there.
Yeah, I think as somebody, as you and I were talking before, you had remembered about me that I taught at the university for 13 years or so, and so had a pretty significant amount of teaching in my background. But I remember somebody asking me one time, well, so are you really like that kind of working with somebody to help them learn or figure something out, and then seeing that light bulb go off in their head, that's that moment. I think they probably had heard that described that way, and they asked me if that's why I was into teaching. And I thought about it, and I was like, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, maybe I hadn't thought about it that way before, but actually now, as you and I were talking, as you were explaining the coaching on there, I was thinking, well, yeah, maybe there is a certain piece of that. I mean, I always liked the preparation aspect. So I liked the idea of setting up the lesson plan, setting up the process, and then, I don't know if prior students would appreciate this characterization of it, but almost the experiment of then putting it out in front of people and saying, okay, let's see if this works. Let's see if they kind of work through this and they get something out of it. And so I guess that is the light bulb coming on. I hadn't really thought of it entirely that way, but I did it. But for me, it was at scale. It was like, it wasn't like a one-on-one with one person and waiting to see that one person, the light bulb kind of click on. It's creating a process and a methodology that I could roll out to 100 people at a time, hoping that 80% of them would get it. Right. And so, yeah.
And that has been something that's changed for me. What really excited me about this work was being able to reach kids. And I love working with teenagers because they're pretty resilient, despite all the horrible things in the background that's atrocious, and it's pretty bad. they can bounce back. They can. There's hope that's very real. And if you encourage and instill and identify that with them, there's so much that they're able to overcome. And so, going from that real appreciation and enjoyment of the work that I had for a long time, to then scaling it to an entire organization and agency is different. And that's that switching to encouraging and empowering others to do an effective job, but not just jumping in and doing it yourself. And so a switch.
Mm-hmm.